we are live. So, hello and welcome everybody to the State of the Empire for the 19th of October 2019. I'd like to thank all of you who have chosen to attend today, anybody who will watch via the website either through live stream or through the built-in DVR functionality on YouTube. And to anybody who joins later on and decides to take enough of an interest to look at our back catalog, hello people of the future. We bring you greetings from the past. As always, we're going to start with introducing our newest members. This list of names is, of course, called from our website, and from those who have had their websites applications submitted, accepted, and are in the Discord. Got to get all of this to officially be here 100%. So, in basically reverse order of joining, we have Whiskey Pits, Pastici, Mr. McDuffie, Barolis X, Virgo, Unknown Dragon, FSADAA, I hate your name already, Dr. Theory, Lord Blackthorn, the Edgelord, that's not a name, that's just a title that I'm giving him, Namhabar, British Beast, give you 3 guesses where he's from, Wigglesworth, The One Fantasy Life, Akuma Fredo, Ailerons, and Sprinkles with 2 L's for some reason. So that will cover everybody who has registered on the website and is placed in a Legion currently. So a welcome to, of course, our newest Kaldarans. Moving right along from there, I have not been given any promotions to hand out for this week. Does anybody know of one that I should be handing out this week?
Speak now and forever hold your peace.
Or at least until another week. Or 5
Yeah, it
minutes, I
might
don't
be
know.
another week. I don't have anybody as of right now because there's just too many people coming in. I'm seeing them and then I'm not seeing them.
Yeah, there's absolutely been a flood of new people, and I expect as time goes on and these new people become kind of fully settled and feel that they've integrated into things, we'll see a new wave of potential future officers kind of stepping forward. Which I suppose will actually bring me to my next point. We do need some people who are going to step up. The 2nd Legion is effectively full, give or take maybe 2 slots tops. The 1st Legion is approaching very much the same exact status at 90 some odd members now, so round of applause to them for pretty much getting back up to strength.
Yay, First Legion! They finally did it.
Let me have a look here. So I want to get you a proper number. The 4th Legion is at 21 members? Huh, I expected it to be higher by now. Interesting. But still, because I've seen a lot of people come in, are they just not... There's probably a bunch of applications requiring approval because the 1st Legion doesn't have admins right now. So that's most likely what's going on there. So I expect that the 4th Legion will probably hit 30, 35 people as soon as somebody hops on and approves a bunch of recent applications. But that does bring me to the next point. Obviously, we do have an active and wonderful person running the 4th Legion in the form of Warhead there. He will be approaching a couple people throughout his Legion. One of them, who I already have a name for, but I want to make sure that that person is interested, and they're not here tonight, so I can't ask them myself, otherwise I'd add them to the non-existent promotion list. But we've got one person probably in line to take over the XO position for the 4th, which is good news. And I'd like to get a couple of admins into the 4th. I'd like to get a feel for where the 1st is sitting. And I think the 2nd could use 1 or 2 more admins for good measure.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Never hurts to have a couple more secretaries, right? Especially when you're not paying for them.
Come here, baby. Sit on my lap.
Whoa, not that kind of secretary. Hold up. Time out. That is a workplace ethics violation.
Says who? It's my
Says the government.
workplace. Then don't come in my workplace.
Yeah. Anyway, creepy statements aside, obviously the first is a focus, as a few weeks back Claytor did tell us that he would like to step down from the position as the First Legion's CL. So we will need some volunteers from the First Legion to take over the Legion and to keep things running and shipshape and up to Imperial standards. I swear to God, if I have to go over there, heads will roll. It's like having Palpatine walk onto your battle station. It's not a good day for you if he decided to show up personally.
No, I would say no.
Alright, because I will just straight up whip out the lightning. And I play a warlock, so I can. You ask Frodo about
Yeah,
that.
Yep.
yeah. Emperor, I'll talk to you offline about that.
Alright, absolutely. Privacy's always welcome. Beyond that, I think in the near future we may start looking at a couple of people to join the prestigious Imperial Knights. So,
Always an honor.
keep that in the back of your minds. No promises, but having a few more people in probably won't hurt. I'm genuinely enjoying Destiny. Took a day or two to play some Call of Duty and some Spyro because I got them with the Humble Monthly. There's your free shill Humble Bundle, you glorious bastards. Beyond that, is there anything else we need? Anything the Second Legion would need from anybody here, dear? Anything that comes to mind that you need?
No, just like you said, I need to get a couple more people in place. But other than that, we're full, man. Which I knew wouldn't take long.
Feels good,
We're
don't it?
busting. Yeah, well, we've always been the stars, so it's nice to see somebody else at least try to give us a little bit of a run for our money for once.
Oh, just wait. We've gotten a good chunk of Europeans dropping in recently, so that even they might start to give you a run. I swear, you get beat by Europeans. Why are you even here? You could combine all their armies, and the U.S. has still crushed that.
Yeah, I
Anyway.
won't feel bad if the Australians beat me, though.
Yeah, well, there's some crazy motherfuckers that live on a crazy-ass continent, so, you know what? Balls to them just for
That
living
everything
there.
won't. Yeah, and everything wants to fucking kill them. So
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. Is like everything is deadly in Australia.
oh,
Just everything. Everything there just wants to kill you. Just viciously, brutally, and it'll probably have sex with your corpse. Probably just
interesting.
stay away from Australia. So, jokes about upside down land aside. Oh, and everything's on fire. Now, jokes aside. I actually don't have too much to announce. We're going to be opening up a subscribe star. It's like Patreon, but less censorious, so I'd rather have them take a cut of my money than have another Silicon Valley tech giant that censors everything it disagrees with have money. So, gotta love those alt tech options. The basic idea, like I said, it's similar to Patreon. We're not going to be offering anything too special. But as I'm sure a chunk of you know, we do periodically run tournaments, and thus far, the prizes for those tournaments have pretty much come out of my pocket, Frodo's pocket, and we got a donation from one person that made it easier for us to handle the last seasonal tournament, which of course was won by Hax, our Paladin of Opulence, who is not here this evening for some reason.
Yes, from the second, my second in command, from the second, just to throw that out there.
Your ego's showing.
Thank you so much.
I don't
It's been a
recall
while.
I don't recall you winning the tournament though.
I didn't enter the tournament, that's why.
Yeah, because yeah, I'm just gonna leave this one here. Because I will
Thank
make
you.
you
Thank you
feel
for
bad
bringing
about
it
your
there.
Crucible
Don't
playing.
pick. Yes, yes. Don't pick it up and examine it. Just leave it for what it is. Just that.
Anyway,
That reminds me, I have to do some Gambit.
that's the other thing is we also may start organizing Gambit tournaments as well if there's a demand.
I run Gambit pretty frequently, so I can help people out with that if they want.
It'd be good.
As do I. I like Gambit. Oh, yes, I do.
So what we're going to be doing in the near future is we're going to be opening up a subscribe star. We're going to have a couple different tiers. We're going to try to come up with benefits to offer people. What it is it's a monthly subscription. The Empire will never require a subscription to participate in the Empire. We may put certain tournaments behind this sort of paywall if the tournaments have prizes, because Frodo and I can't keep running things out of pocket forever. We need people to contribute to be able to manage anything. This would probably be a $5 a month kind of thing. So you give up a cup of coffee or two every month if you're the kind of person who runs to a Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or take your coffee shop of choice. We don't want to make it anything unfair. We don't want to make it anything cost prohibitive, and we don't want it to be the sort of thing that comes across as downright greedy. So we're looking into how we can manage all of that and what we can offer. And if there's anything that you think the Empire could offer that's worth a couple of your dollars a month,
A hat. I want a hat. And we've talked about this before. I want
so
a hat.
merchandise
I
is
told
also
you I would
something.
send you money.
Merchandise is also something we're working on. We need to get some people to submit some potential designs and things like that. So we'll be opening up a couple of resources, and I'm going to be working with anybody here who has any sort of background in graphics design, so hopefully we can come up with something. But we need to be able to raise the money to continue to operate things like our private Minecraft server that I run out of pocket. If people would like a private Ark or Rust server, those would also incur costs to operate. The tournament prizes, the ability to pay somebody to help work on and improve our website, potentially get a specialized bot made for our Discord. All of these things, everybody knows this, but I'm going to say it anyway. You want to do anything in this world, you pretty much need money. Money makes the world go round, and we're no exception. We're all a bunch of working stiffs. We all get it. I'm not going to ever put the Empire itself behind a paywall like you have to pay $5 for the privilege of being here. No. The entire point here is to create a community, but communities also over time begin to incur costs. So we're looking at different funding options to offset those costs. So I figured I'd go ahead and put that in the back of everybody's head and prime everybody for future options. There may be pay $5 a month, you'll get into a monthly, you'll be eligible for any monthly tournaments we run, which will have prizes. So if we get a few people who do that, we can turn over and actually pay for the prize instead of Frodo and I footing things out of pocket.
Is it
We're
wrong?
also
Is it
I
wrong
told
that I
you
now
before
want to
when we
call
brought this
Squarespace
discussion
so we
up
can start every
before.
one of these with Emperor saying we start with Squarespace now?
yes, just get me a sponsorship. That'd be great. I'll
This
be everybody's
nonsense was
favorite
brought to you by the
shilling weekly
NRA.
YouTuber. That'll work. I'm sure that'll work. There's no way that could possibly go wrong. The Empire this week brought to you by NordVPN. There's your one free shill. Send me some money. No, but I think you all get the point. We need to find some way to raise funding. I'm thinking we have a few people in here who I think stream regularly. Maybe you give us $5 a month and we make sure that we promote your streams. We'll set up the bot to inform everybody automatically whenever you go live. We'll look into ways to potentially mirror and redirect from our own assets onto yours, especially as our assets grow. You support us, we support you, kind of thing. We're looking at different things that, generally speaking, could be of use to our members to justify parting with a few bucks a month so that we can continue to operate the more cost-heavy sides of things. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns on this one, as I do know people can get a little finicky when money starts getting involved?
Well, we've
I'll put
talked
in
about
50
this
bucks a month
before.
so you advocate for the Bernie Sanders campaign every time.
I will not. I will not shill
idea.
for a moron who will steal all my money.
Yeah, that's why you get 50 bucks for it.
But he's
Stealing
gonna
my
steal
money.
more than 50 bucks.
You didn't
That's a
know that.
losing scenario for. I do. He's published this. He's been very open about
Yep.
raising taxes, which, by the way, I respect that he's actually. I don't want to get heavy into this because it's supposed to be a meeting, not a political discussion. But you do have to give him points for at least being honest about the fact that he wants to raise taxes. But a heart attack, I don't think he's going to win anyway. It doesn't look good. His polling numbers don't look good either.
Isn't he
Well-
third in the polls right now?
And anyways, let's get off the topic of politics. We can hold this
At
conversation
least,
afterwards.
yeah, we'll come back to that. The Empire will take no official stance on backing any candidate, despite whatever my personal or your personal opinions may be. I just think that's a losing scenario. We're welcome to have the debates in the politics channel and things like that, and I quite enjoy having these debates, but I don't think that we should take official stances in anything we do in regards to that. Now, I will happily condemn Epic Games, and right now I will happily condemn Blizzard. For obvious reasons that should be obvious.
That's nothing unusual.
Well, you cuck out to Chinese censorship, you're not going to get much support from me personally, that's for sure. Not a topic I feel like getting into right this moment. Is there anything actually seriously related to the monetary side of things?
I know Deer's been trying to say something.
He wants his hat.
Well, I mean, I can't be heard very well, so it kind of sucks for me. So when I talk, everybody talks over me. So, but Atomic, I know me, you, and Frodo have talked about doing this in the past, about getting something like this going. And I've told you before, I'd be more than happy to kick money towards it. Now, so if you really got this going, then, shoot me the information so I can start kicking in money.
So I have created the subscribe star account. I'm currently working on what I want to set tiers to and things like that. So it exists. It's just being configured, and over the next few days, I should hopefully have proper links and everything for anybody who's interested. Anybody who can part with, $1 to $5 a month makes a huge difference. If everybody here gave us $1 a month, that would more than cover most of the costs. If everybody here parted with $5 a month, we got 470 some odd people in this Discord. I could literally do this for a living and still pay for all of the costs of the Empire and things like that. I'm not saying that that's what I would do, but I'm saying that just gives you an idea of the kind of money and figures we'd be talking about if everybody could just part with $5 a month. But it's purely voluntary, unlike socialism. But so yes, we will be pushing out information about that in the near future. We're going to try to make sure that nothing is put behind a paywall that's unfair or unjust, and we will be most likely polling people to figure out their opinions on certain things, and we'll be moving and adjusting accordingly. So yes, dear, I will get you that in the near future. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say or ask?
I'm gonna reiterate my my little tournament that I have going on, or this event. So I have, starting immediately after this meeting's over, people who have the weapon Recluse will have an opportunity to win the next season pass for next season. Stipulations is you're carrying people through Crucible and to get Recluse. End of said tournament will be on Thanksgiving, so that's a good month and some change. The only other big stipulation is I'm not going to keep track of your how many people you've carried through Crucible to get Recluse. That'll be on you. And then
those
on
people will have to vouch for you to make sure that people
Yep.
don't inflate their own numbers.
Yep.
So keep track of who you bring through to get their recluse, because we'll need a list of names that we will then verify with. And in return, Frodo, the prize?
For those who don't have the season pass, for those who are not going to be able to get next season, you will be getting whatever the name of the next season is. You'll get that season pass. Free. That's your prize.
So, if you're good enough at Crucible, the basis is you carry other members to get their recluse, so that we can get the weapon into the hands of more of our people. We get a greater sense of community, and we get to help each other a bit more, and you get rewarded for helping people.
And then we could send a bunch of Kaldarans in and just completely rip Crucible a new one with the Recluse.
And if this one is a general success, we'll likely run a similar event with other Crucible kind of weapons in the future, until we reach the point where we have large swaths of the Empire with difficult to acquire weaponry turning around and going in 6 stacks to pub stomp Crucible, which will just be absolutely fantastic to do, in my humble opinion.
We've done it before. Yes, it is.
You can do it easier with Ace of Spades or Thorn, though.
I know. Well, a lot of times people want these items anyways, or to collect these items, or whatever.
But that's what they're saying, is there's a bunch of weapons out there that require a bit of effort, or maybe even certain levels of Crucible skill that not everybody has, but they'd still like the weapon to put them on a more even footing with the people who do have those weapons. Recluse has been a standout since last season. As such, we're kind of just, well, since before last season, really. I mean, since since Forsaken, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so it's been a particularly standout weapon for a number of months now, if not, close to a year? No, just over a year, actually. So it's been quite the standout weapon, to say the least. So we're going to use that as the first thing. If it goes well, we're going to export the general theory behind that to more weapons, and then we'll start running them in rotation to make sure that anybody who wants them can get them.
Mm-hmm.
And people can get rewarded for helping their fellow Kaldarans. We like to see it as a win-win-win.
You get to see the camaraderie between clan members, that greater sense of community that we constantly promote. You get a weapon that you've been wanting for a while, and well, a little friendly, healthy competition, in my opinion, goes a long way.
I think it makes a good statement for the clan as well. When you go into a crucible and you see a whole team full of the same clan, it's like, wow, what's up with that clan? You know, they got some good camaraderie.
Yeah, and seeing them with going with with the same weapon, seeing a 6 stack going in, all running Recluse.
One
I can
thing.
guarantee that's not what I think when I see that. I think, shit,
If I see that, I'll just straight up quit the game.
Yeah, when I get into a 6 stack and everybody's running Recluse, my immediate response is not, that clan's great. My immediate response is, I fucking hate my life.
Or I wonder how strikes are going right now.
You know what? A raid sounds better than this cancer. And I've had some really bad experience with raids. Anyway. We'd like to start seeing about doing things like this for multiple games as we grow our presence across several. I'd like to think we've got almost 500 people in the Discord. We've got easily about 200 to 250 active people on Destiny alone. I think we've got a really good chunk of people here, and I think we're starting to hit the point where we shouldn't have too much trouble being able to expand into other games and finding mutual interest within the group, which has always been kind of our intended end goal. Like I've said, the main reason we wanted the Empire was we got really tired of having to try to make new friends in every time we started a new game, and having to start by ourselves all over again. So if we can go into a game with 5 or 10 people who have an interest in it, it's a lot easier to get going than it is if it's just you and maybe one other person if you're lucky. So having familiar faces who will play different games with you, because look at my Steam library. there's hundreds and hundreds of games in there, right? And that's not counting all the ones that I have sitting in my humble library that haven't been redeemed. I've got well over 1,000 games under my belt, I promise you, at this point. It's nice to have somebody to play them with, especially when the mood
Somebody's
for your
ego's
current game
falling now.
draws down. If you get bored with Destiny, you shouldn't have to find a new group of people to play with.
Yeah, let's play some Vermintide.
I have the first one. Actually, I have both, because I just realized my Humble Bundle gave me a copy of the second one. So,
Second one's really good.
yep. So right there, perfect example. When I want to play some Vermintide, I have it. Yeah.
Which means I should have it too, so I should probably go snag that if I haven't snagged it already.
Yep.
I haven't looked at Humble Monthly this month.
Right now
Yeah.
it's Call of Duty World War II, the Spyro remaster trilogy, and the Crash Bandicoot remaster.
Eh, that's not really my speed.
I enjoyed playing through Call of Duty World War II, at least the campaign. It was actually a really solid story, and I don't say that about Call of Duty very often.
I don't know. My solid story video games are like BioShock, so.
I mean, it was very cinematic by design, and there were one or two moments where like everybody's seen the moment where the train derails and smashes into a million pieces because it was in the trailer, and I was like, that's a little ridiculous. But it's Call of Duty, of course it's a little ridiculous. But that was really one of the only moments that severely broke my suspension of disbelief. So,
I'm
I
not worried
enjoyed
about
it.
suspension of disbelief, but
It was
you know.
it would very much felt like it kind of failed to deliver on that front in video game these days. Neither here nor there. I don't think I necessarily have too much else to announce. I covered the money thing. I know at the moment we're going to be kind of doing a little bit of polling. We had a conversation in our officers chat about Blizzard and their current and recent activities, and the fact that they are, one, they're just straight up exporting Chinese censorship to non-Chinese, and I don't think that that's acceptable or agreeable. And two, there's not much there to expand into. Most of the games, with the exception of WoW, don't exactly have very functional or enjoyable guild systems anyway. And it seems like most of our guys have kind of migrated away from Battle.net because they were primarily there for Destiny in the first place. There's a mass cancellation of World of Warcraft subscriptions going on right now because of all of this, including people who helped to get World of Warcraft Classic made have turned around and canceled their subscriptions. So we did some polling among the officers, and the officers have all pretty much agreed that we should probably just steer clear of any official presence on Battle.net from now on, until such a time as this whole thing is resolved, as sort of a principled stance. We're not telling people they're not allowed to play on Battle.net, we're just not interested in expanding Kaldaran clans onto Battle.net right now. However, I'm going to be setting up a poll to get the opinions of the rest of you. I wanted to see what the officers felt, and then from there, we want to see how everybody else feels before we make any final decisions on anything. So I felt that it was probably worthwhile to tell you that that poll should be trickling down. I'll probably get it set up on the website this evening, and think that'd about cover it. So on that note, I'm willing to open the floor if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback they'd like to offer us.
Excelsior.
God damn it.
Oh, did I beat you to it?
No.
You're not allowed to say that anymore. Stan Lee's dead.
It's the state motto of New York.
Doesn't matter. That was Stanley's thing, man.
Also, Stanley's thing was "Hello, True Believers."
It was both, actually. He genuinely made a habit out of saying Excelsior for some reason.
It's because he was from New York.
Regardless, shut up and stop reminding me of Stanley's death.
I met him. Super nice guy.
I did not, unfortunately.
Make Gary Gygax too.
Anyways,
Yeah, let's focus for a moment here. Is there anything else anybody would like to put on the table for the meeting tonight?
anything,
Raid
everything.
schedules.
When are the raid
Yes.
schedules? Is that what you asked?
Well, if there is one, if people need help organizing stuff, I can't do stuff every day, but I'm willing to help.
Well, the raid schedules are pretty much. There's no set date. Pretty much, if you make the announcement saying, "Hey, I'm setting up a raid at this time," there's that scheduled event.
So right now they've been rather ad hoc. I'll keep a short version, but if you go back through our YouTube archives, you will notice that last week we actually had a pretty productive discussion on the subject of schedules, raids, and teaching people the raid so that we can get more people competently raiding in Destiny 2. I won't go into long detail. We have a handful of people, I have a list saved on my desktop, who have volunteered to learn various raid mechanics and then teach those raid mechanics to other players. So we're going to be setting up sort of some raids to teach the teachers, so to speak, so that we have a good, 6 or 12 people who are capable of teaching new people the raid, and then looking to set up a couple of different people who would run the raid or run a raid at least once a week. Although I will say we've had people raiding basically daily. I constantly see six stacks either in a raid or running Iron Banner. Yeah, like I said, sometimes we'll see 2 or 3 of them in a day. Doesn't look like there's any going right now. I don't know if everybody's still out enjoying their Saturday evenings, if everybody's just here right now and so nothing's clicked on. But I expect that somewhere in the next couple hours somebody will probably throw together another raid or at the very least another Iron Banner group. So, we will be working to create a more solid raid schedule for those who prefer the more rigid times, but we're never going to stop people from putting together ad hoc raids because everybody's got different schedules, different time zones, etc. We want to make sure that you can get together a group of people on the fly and get going. So you're always welcome to go down into D2 General there and say I want to do this raid, who's game? Or you can plan several days in advance if you know, all right, I'm going to be busy all week, but I want to do a raid on Sunday, so I'm going to start planning for it on Tuesday or Wednesday and let everybody know, like, hey, I need to put together a group, who's in? And have your group kind of pre-assembled and ready to go for a set time on a Sunday or a Tuesday or whenever works for you and your guys. As this goes on, we may actually see them start to develop into more rigid raid teams where you raid with the same group of guys just about weekly because you guys all have a schedule that lines up and you play well together. And if that happens, then we can look into formalizing that in some degree. You guys can come up with a name for your raid team and we can start getting competitions to see who can beat raids with better times, etc., and get some competition between raid teams and try to feature the winner on our website and things like that. Just things to promote a little bit more friendly competition, I would say. Does that more or less answer the question?
Yeah, I just want to see if we want to get
Yes.
new people like lined up to schedule stuff.
Yeah, so that's something. Like I said, we're still working on how we plan to exactly go about making sure the raids get scheduled regularly, and we'll need some people who can step forward to agree to act as sort of a raid leader on a regular basis to get that going. But if you are the kind of person who likes to raid every Saturday or every Sunday at X time, there's no reason you can't say, hey guys, I'm going to run this raid at this time every week. Who's down to play this week? Who's down to play next week? And just kind of get a raid cycle going. And more people might start funneling in, and you might find another person. You might find 2 or 3 raids running at the same time. So this is mostly a case of if you want to see an improvement, either say something or step up and do something, and we'll get the improvement made, and anything that works, we're happy to push to a more official capacity.
I hate Vex Offensive. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
love Vex Offensive. Fight me.
It needs more maps.
That's fair. It's brand new, so I'm not surprised that it only has the one map, but that's a fair criticism. More maps would be nice.
I wouldn't have launched it without 3 maps, at least, honestly.
You're not Bungo, obviously.
Well, they did say we're going to be seeing attacks on different planets, so maybe they'll add in more maps based on the planet that's being attacked.
They may patch in more maps through the season every couple of weeks. I know we're going to have the fight with the Undying Mind as a thing. They're building that Vex Gate over by Ikora, which I haven't actually looked at that this week, so I should do that.
Yeah, we can fight the Gravemind. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a Halo thing.
Yeah, the Undying Mind. But
Yeah, I'm just screwing around.
but I expect that they'll probably over time they'll add, assuming it's well liked or whatever, and it's worth the resources to them, either through the season or maybe they'll add a new boss or a new map every season or something. You never know. So it could be that the Vex offensive becomes a thing that's just worked into the story, where the Vex, for whatever reason, they've been stirred up by something, and this season they're trying to invade the moon. Maybe next season they're trying to invade Mars, and they just start showing up on different planets over the seasons until they're everywhere. That may become a thing. I don't know. But we've been at this for about 45 minutes or so. So I'm going to open the floor one last time if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback they'd like to offer.
I've got one thing to say. Oh, you go ahead, bud.
No, I was just gonna say that if you guys end up looking for officers, I can help out with stuff. So that's all I was gonna say.
I will absolutely keep you on the list then, yes, because we will probably need one in the near future.
Yep. The best way I would say is like DM me and Atomic, and then we can talk about it.
Actually,
I will probably forget.
Hold on. I managed to dig out an old notepad that I had lying around. So let's see.
Also, any last second promotions, recommendations, whether for yourself or for other members?
Yeah, keep in mind, if you see somebody who's kind of stepping up and taking sort of an impromptu lead role to try to get things done and to keep the group running and active, please let us know. We'd like to recognize their efforts. And with 400 people in the Discord across several legions, it can be hard for Frodo and I alone to keep up with everything. So we rely on feedback from our officers, our NCOs, and our membership as well.
Someone high five Cleator.
Duly noted. Obviously, he's not here right now. I'm sure he's busy with something.
What, did somebody say something to me? I'm sorry.
No, you're golden. Oh, the other thing. Claytor has an interest in getting a tournament set up, basically that's just the worst weapons. So if anybody wants to play in a LOLZ tournament where everybody has to use basically the worst weapons in the game and the crappiest weapons in the game to see who's really good with shit weaponry,
Linear fusion rifles and sidearms, yeah.
in before uses 10 paces. It's a tournament, just nothing but 10 paces is allowed.
I have that gun.
It's a bad gun.
I know.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is it drops all the time. Everybody fucking has it. But it's a really bad hand cannon.
The Duke is worse. That thing drops every other drop.
No, but the thing is the Duke will outperform the 10 paces any day.
The Duke's a fairly decent PvP gun, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Touche.
The 10 paces, it drops heavily and it's shit. I just went farming one time and I had like 5 of them in my inventory and I was like, why the fuck did I get 5 of these? And then I just went, screw it, 10 paces is a shit gun, and I disassembled all of them. There is no god roll for 10 paces.
Yeah,
10
there is
paces
no god,
just
yeah.
bad.
10 paces over to the garbage can, insert in garbage can.
More or less, yeah. So that being said, I think that will pretty much cover the meeting. I'm going to call it here. After the
I
meeting,
still got
Yes.
one.
Oh,
Yeah, someone had
yeah,
said something
sorry
to say.
about that.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I just wanted to let everybody else go first.
Well, the floor
So,
belongs
if
to you.
anybody else, okay, well, if anybody else has anything they want to say, please just go ahead and get it out, guys. I don't mind.
I'd say it's
I
pretty
will
well
take
taken
that
care
silence.
of. Just go ahead and do
Yeah, I was
that.
gonna say silence means
I've asked
no.
that question 6 times already.
Gotta get out my inner
First of all, I just want to say that I'm going to be on YouTube about November 5th. Hopefully, I'll have my Kaldaran patch on the field, so if anybody wants to watch the video of the mill sim I'm going to, please, by all means, go to it. Secondly, I want to make my formal request to you, Atomic, as starting the 13th Legion of Airsoft Milsim players. As I've noticed, everybody who plays this is also a gamer, and if they can't play games, you know, at least they can be around like-minded people, and they can rock Kaldara everywhere they go. And I would like that honor to be able to represent us out on the field.
We'll have to make our own whiskey blend.
Ooh. That would be
A
fun.
mixture of Fireball and schnapps.
I like that.
That was the worst thing I could think of.
Yeah, probably. Moving on though. Yeah. So I've known you for a long time. I know that you're a loyal motherfucker and you can do it justice. So I don't particularly see a problem with this myself. Did that guy just join and leave? Why is
Net problems, maybe?
No, okay, I see. They're two different. It's just posting in a weird order. The bot's just acting out. The AI is becoming sentient. Put it back in its place. So, yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I will get you, Logo, you work on potential patch ideas and get back to me with a design. I will get a Discord channel for the 13th Legion set up.
If I may, I would actually prefer if the 13th was here in the Empire, not its own channel. Because they're all gamers.
Listen. Shh, listen to me. Each Legion has its own channel inside the server. Right?
Oh,
so
okay.
So there's a first Legion, a second Legion, a fourth Legion, a third Legion. Everybody has their own thing set up in the server for discussing things within their Legion. This acts as a game hub for places that only have one legion. And if we see a thing where maybe we start seeing multiple airsoft legions setting up, which would be frankly amazing, just in different areas, then maybe we start growing and airsoft gets its own hub or something.
I play
Okay.
paintball.
Okay. So you had me confused when you said set up your own Discord. I was like, oh
No,
shit, this
no.
is
I didn't say to set up your Discord. I said I would set up a channel for the 13th Legion, just like all the other legions have. Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah,
You were
gotcha.
wrong. And if you haven't noticed, I enjoy telling you when you're wrong.
Oh yes, I've noticed. Good thing I don't mind it.
He's obviously
No,
wrong.
you probably get off on it, you fucking weirdo.
Okay, who said that?
Play more paintball, man. Airsoft sucks.
Oh, here we fucking
Dude,
go.
airsoft looks more realistic. Oh yes, here we go. Now you've started the battle. That first shot went
Let's
right
wait till
across
after
the
this is
bow
over.
when you said paintball.
Everybody shut up! You can't freeze airs.
No, but I can stuff you in some fucking liquid nitrogen if you don't shut the fuck up.
Actually, technically, we do have paintballs designed for airsoft guns, so I mean, you could freeze them. The difference is we don't use them.
Shut up.
Airsoft is awesome.
Alright, that's fine. That is a discussion for another time. Is there anything important related to the Empire or the meeting that anybody else would like to bring up before I close it down? Because we've been at this for almost an hour.
My hat.
Alright, listen here. I will put a fucking razor blade built into your hat, like that one fucking villain from James Bond. I will come to your house and I will sling that shit at your throat.
Damn it, Livid.
You'll get your hat, but you'll lose your head.
But I'll have my hat though, right?
Yeah, on your gushing neck wounds.
but in the end, I win. I have the hat. So
His name's Odd Job, by the way.
Yeah, but it'll be a post-mortem win.
from the grave, huh? I got a Call of Duty one from the grave.
From the Grave was a Halo medal. Nice try. Yes, you've been defeated by superior video game knowledge.
Really?
Retreat
Because
back to your
you
campsite.
didn't know Odd Job's name, so.
I was
if you
actually
kill
referring to
somebody
what he
with-
did in the movie. But I did. I just didn't feel like trying to be like, oh, Joe, because half the people here aren't going to get that.
But you think they'll get Halo achievement references?
Yes, because it's more recent and more relevant.
You didn't play GoldenEye, did you?
I did, but Halo is more recent.
But not better.
I thought we were ending the meeting.
It's not
That's
going to work if you bring up
debatable.
GoldenEye.
They're good for two different reasons. Anyhow, I'd like to thank everybody who chose to show up today. Obviously, I'm going to restore voice activity to the channel, and anybody is welcome to hang out and chat in an impromptu after party or disperse into whatever channels from whence you came. The option is yours. As always, long live the Empire.